Welcome back, better investors, to another episode here on the BI Breakdown. And I want to dive straight into it. So we see that the stock market is crashing, but this is nothing new. All right. Anywhere between August to October, we see that there is always some kind of a stock market pullback or crash. And keep in mind, it is an election year. When is the election? It starts inside of the second week of November. Now ask yourself, if we've never seen the market go down during a presidential election because it looks bad on the politicians that's either trying to stay in office or the politicians that want to enter office, why would we see it happen this year? I just don't think that'll happen. October 28th, 1929, that is Black Monday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average declined nearly 13%. Now, we saw a pretty hefty percentage to the downside this time as well. The stock market lost $1.4 trillion. But what I'm going to go over today is why you shouldn't panic and don't get caught up on people fear mongering and trying to sell you a product or a service. Guys, this is nothing new. All right, I've been talking about this a lot on this channel and we've been expecting it. You're going to see a pullback. Why? Because markets never go straight up, markets never go straight down. And here's a tip for you. Anytime you see the market move very quickly in either direction, it's almost always followed up with the opposite direction. Why? It's just a law of physics in the universe that we live in. Every action has an equal opposite reaction. All right, I didn't make this up. Somebody else made it up long before me, called Einstein. Okay, so this is something that we already know, and you're going to see it happen more and more as we go forward. Why? Because the dollar is crashing. So people are trying to scare you out of assets. And I'm not saying that stocks are the best place to be. Don't get me wrong. But what I am saying is that while people are scaring you out of assets, most of these people are scaring you inside of dollar-based systems. And as currencies fail, assets will increase in value. Now, the Magnificent Seven lose 1 trillion in market value. These are the top 7 tech companies inside of America. And they're saying here, is that indicating a US recession? If you know as well as I do, especially if you're a small business owner or if you're a follower of this channel, we've already been inside of a recession long ago. But the politicians that's in power and the administration that's trying to come in, nobody's going to say we're in a recession because it's bad for business. They need votes and they need people to have confidence in what's happening so that they come out and they vote inside of their favor. Now, with this $1 trillion loss of market value, what you have to understand is the market only lost around $1.4 to $1.7 trillion. Now, I say only knowing that that is a large number, but the point that I'm making is that the majority came from 7 companies. The other companies, we call them zombie companies, meaning that they're not making a lot of money, but they still exist. An example of this could be GameStop. There's still money inside of GameStop. There's still money inside of other stocks and other assets within the market that's out there. It's just not performing and holding up the overall percentage of the market when we see something goes up in value. Apple, Tesla, Meta, formerly Facebook, Google, Alphabet, Microsoft, these are the companies that hold up the majority of the market. So when something big happens, you're going to see them be impacted the most, okay? This should be no surprise as well. We saw Microsoft had that outage. If you're a better investor, you're keeping up with the market and you're paying attention to some of these things on a fundamental level to understand how it can impact the market before it actually happens. This should not be news to you, and you should not wait for the news to hit so that you can know what to do or what to expect. I also want to point out the fact that this is not just here in America that this happened. This is fears about a global recession or even depression that's coming because $6 trillion was wiped out globally. Actually, a little bit over $6 trillion. Now, here in America, the majority came from just 7 companies. So I want you to keep that in mind. If you were investing in the right companies and you picked the right stocks, did you really lose any money? No, not really. You weren't really affected. As better investors, we were prepared for this. I know me personally, I only lost around 1% inside of my portfolio, and that's exactly what I'm teaching my students. Better investments equals a better future, and I'll see you inside the next video.
money bring friends, so my life won't be alone. I stayed out and grind and I made it out strong. I lost some ones